Okay. I think we're live on Facebook. Yes. Okay. So this is being broadcast from my Southern Muse page. However, it's the warm up and it's like tomorrow begins the Into the Mystic 8-day challenge. And so this is about introducing you to the Claras tonight, and also to see if anything that I share with you sends a tingle up your spine, or if you get a gut reaction, or if you can hear, listen, or if it helps like stimulate your artistic creativity. Like tonight, I want to share with you the 7 extraordinary senses that every human being has the ability to develop. And what I'm going to share with you tonight is how it breaks down into practical daily living, these mystical gifts. And as we move forward into the 21st century, all the mysticism, well, not all of it, never all of it, but the majority of the fear about being yourself is going to dissipate. And you are going to be able to feel more connected, more worthwhile. Like, why do you want to even take the time to listen to this presentation? Like, why do you even want to do that? What is the benefit to you? First and foremost, you will begin to feel the zest for life again. All of the 8-day challenges have been developed specifically to activate and intensify your authentic nervous system. So, a little bit unlike the other songs and the other challenges, what's going to happen in this challenge is that we are going to listen to music that speaks even to a more subtle nervous system. And they're more sensual in nature because your claras, which is French for clear, is attached to a subtler nervous system. Okay? So if you're on my page or if you're in any of my groups, Shameless Beauty, Home Magic, the Science and Solar Words, or in the 8-day challenges, you have already recognized that you have an extra sensitive nervous system. And you are probably a little people averted, and you feel very connected, but very disconnected at the same time. You may find yourself connected to drama triangles, which we go over in the very first challenge, where it seems like your only ability is to feel other people's pain. And you may have gone through such trauma and betrayal and rejection from a peer group that you've been trying to fit into. You may feel born to families that have never understood you and very rarely appreciated you directly. You may also find yourself as a pioneer, someone who has seen things and was certain of things, like so certain that you risked your reputation on them and are willing to go through the hard times because you're certain of the good times. So this challenge will help you identify, validate, which then activates an even deeper version of something you already know about yourself. And then as we go deeper into the 8 days and you read aloud every day, Our Deepest Fear by Marianne Williamson, and you dance and you journal, you will be able to open a veil. And then I'm going to invite you to continue into a 40-day journey, further developing it. You can do it on your own, or you can do it in a support group. Thing is, this is your year. I know you're gifted. I know you're talented. I know you're a mystic. I know you have gifts. I know you're ready. Now, just like Yolanda said in her thing, now it's really up to you. Are you just going to sit back and watch me do this? And watch other people who participate bloom and grow and nurture their divine connection? Or are you now willing to open up, to do something different for the benefit of yourself, your pleasure, developing your sensations, your divine connection in this beautiful web of life for the benefit of all? So, with no further ado, let's get moving on to the next part of this, which is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over the Claras. Here we go. And here, let's just talk about, if you haven't joined the 8-day challenge, then I will put a link in this description so that you can definitely get into that group, okay? So this is basically, hello, welcome, warm up, what, opening party for Into the Mystic. Van Morrison, For Real, is our opening song you're going to dance to when you wake up in the morning. You dance to it 3 times. And when you dance, I'm going to announce the song every day because the song is designed to evoke a experience, okay, within your nervous system. And why all the songs are more sensual is because we're talking about bringing your awareness to something you're already wired to do, okay? It's already in your body. And just as you automatically wake up every morning and can think a negative thought, you can develop a practice, okay? This is the risk that Yolanda was speaking about, right? Taking a risk. You have this skill within you. When they say it's within you, it means you have a whole neural net from ancient memories to emotions such as courage, patience, now momentness, flow state, connected to major artistic creativity, new inventions, the Akashic records. There's a whole nother level of thinking and being. And in order to reach these heights of consciousness while alive in a human body, then there are practices, right? Daily practices that integrate your 3 intelligences: your mental intelligence, your emotional intelligence, and your physical intelligence. Like, you can understand something, you can really feel passionate about it, but if you don't have your body engaged in alignment in a joyful way in these beliefs and in these emotions, then you have nothing. You're just basically like in the Matrix, just laying down in a pod and just running your mental intelligence and your emotional intelligence. That's what drama is. It just drains all of that, right? So when you have, that's operated by some trauma, okay? And this challenge isn't about exploring your trauma. This challenge is about amping up your automatic sensitive nervous system, which is your soul's blueprint nervous system. Within this nervous system, you have access to information because you realize you are one with the information. You know, this is beyond problem solving. In this frequency, problems do not form. Beauty forms, okay? Beauty breeds beauty. What you learn about containers more than boundaries. You understand evolution and you embrace change. You're like, yes, because that's the only thing that is constant. And you have more flexibility in your nervous system. And you feel eternal and you activate the fountain of youth within yourself. You reignite wonder. Yeah, it's just that little bit of a challenge. However, it is easier than you think because we all overthink. All right. So each day you're going to dance to the song of the day. And sometimes I might have two songs back to back. But they will be all being guided. And it is, the more you share in this group, the more individualized it is. The more you participate, the more I can help you, because I'm also the science and soul words girl. I can read your exact words. And I will pipe up as I'm going through these, all of the gifts that I have and I have developed over the past 35 years within myself. And I am here to offer you my services in a one-on-one situation or a group coaching situation that you will see. Yolanda and I will introduce you to the mystical services that we offer our community. And we look forward to serving you. And we look forward to your business. So with that being said, each day I am here to listen to you as if you are my private paying client. So it is essential that you do a live. Within the 8-day group, it is a private group, a sacred group, a group where you can speak freely. And I am here to serve you. And in order for that to occur, are you willing to open your throat chakra and read aloud every day Our Deepest Fear by Marianne Williamson? Also, after the dance and after reading it aloud, doing the live in that group, then you're to take a few minutes and draw or journal. Because if you share your pictures and your exact words, I can also give you a free reading every day that you do that. I'll give you guidance because I'll be able to read your words. So that is the basics of the challenge. Now let's go over the different types of senses. And how you listen is that listen to me describe it. And even as you're reading the slide, right, and you're hearing me, also pay attention to the sensations in your body. Because at the end of this, I'm going to ask you to do a live on your top 3 that you noticed about yourself. This isn't about you learning more about my mystical gifts. This is about you just really validating and affirming your mystical gifts. So you ready? Okay, let's do it. Oops, let's go in. Okay, so these are the claras. Okay, we have clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizant, clairalliance, clairaugustance, and clairagnostic. Oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. However, these are the claras. They all say clear something. And what that means is, okay, so we are all, in the quantum world, we are one, all right? And the energy of one is love. Now that's the ultimate right there. That's the absolute ultimate. Now, in order for love to experience itself, it expands. And in this expansion, the American Indians saw it, many cultures saw it way back to the beginning of time, this web, okay? And this web is so very micro thin, of course, that it can't be seen with the naked eye. However, you have senses, I have senses that can sense this network. And at one point of our lives, there's a lot of things that occur. There are things in your life that will always occur that you don't have complete control of. Let's just get that straight. And you're part of your maturity and your practice, and especially if your practice is focused on accessing and speaking from and living from this subtler nervous system. Okay. What we're doing in that practice is, in our ability to choose, that's what we have as humans, is an ability to choose beyond our past. Okay? We can help attribute to the evolution of consciousness. I am but just a speck. You can't even see me with the naked eye. I'm so small in the quantum of the universe. However, I am connected to the universe. It's kind of like the leg bone's connected to the hip bone. Well, that's all just about this body. Well, this body has nervous systems within it. And depending on your level of awareness, your level of nurturing this gift, you're validating your own gift and you dedicating your gift to service. That's the number one, to fully activate it. Your service, you are in service to love. Okay? And that's the benefit of all. So as you listen to the different qualities, then I want you to write down the top 3, right? You going inward right now, I'm going to do a holy blessing over everyone to call down your, activate your I am presence. We now call forth your loving I am presence into this experience now. I give you this holy instant. I will follow you, certain that your direction and your guidance will bring me peace, alignment, fulfillment, and delight. Yeah, that's the other thing about this nervous system. We're going to be activating your pleasure systems this week, because each one of the senses is a way to interpret impulses of delight because they have information in them, just as impulses of sadness do, grief, trauma, and fear. The thing is, going into emotions like of fear and all that activate another nervous system, which is known as the automatic nervous system, which is solely based on survival. So that's why doing this challenge together, we're 107 strong in this group now. It helps each of us. It's like, it's also, we're working with the two or more gathered philosophy or scientific certainty. So
here's something I found on the web. According to northwestern.edu,
oh my gosh.
in this context, certainty refers to the confidence with which the scientific community accepts empirical associations between variables and the theoretical explanations for these associations.
Well, that was unexpected. Thank you, Ma. That's for clairaudient. Did y'all hear that? Then that means you're clairaudient. Mystical things like that will occur, okay? My gosh, that was so exciting. Okay. So what I was saying is about what we're doing is activating and having an automatic response of pleasure, because what happens is that begins to be your new certainty. Like if you are suffering every day, it's because you expect to suffer on a subconscious level. And so what this 8-day challenge is going to also do is give you the expectation of pleasure. Okay? So now, are you willing to commit to this challenge? Let's go on to the next. Okay. You are ready. Are you willing? That's what we were just talking about. Okay. Now let's talk about clairaudient. So if you're clairaudient, you're going to, it's a clear hearing. You actually hear either in a loving version of your own voice, or actually I'm clairaudient. I actually can hear the actual voice of the person, like, and I can mimic. Clairaudient people are oracles as well as mimics. They make great actors and actresses because this is how they embody the gift, right? So you're also receiving a message for the benefit of all, and it will come right through here. We're going to talk about you. And also, as I'm saying this to you, also understand that you can have all of these in the forefront, but what I'm wanting to know is your top 3. Okay. Like I have a little bit of some, a lot of most of these. However, I will say one of my top ones is clairaudient. I can hear someone, like I can hear Kuan Yin sounds different than when I'm talking to Hoi Toi, when I'm talking to I haven't talked to Isis, but when I can actually hear Bill Riedler, right? One of my coaches, Wayne Dyer, someone else. So I'll actually hear it in their voice. So, and I can also hear my mom and my dad and my children, all of that. So I can have a very vivid conversation, which makes a trauma a little bit harder for me to get out of mentally. And I could tend to be an overthinker. However, what your very best careers, which you'll find a lot of people who are in these careers that require listening skills, leaders, musicians, singers, writers, and public speakers. Okay. These are the people that clairaudience can connect with the intellect and the understanding of other people. And they're also like a microphone. That's why singers, one of the best things I heard was Michael Jackson was talking, he had done something, and then he was either dancing or doing something, and he was in flow state, and he got this song in his head, and he's like, right now I have to record this song. And his producer was like, hey man, it's late at night. He goes, no, we got to go right now. If not, Prince will have it tomorrow. Because see, there is this strata of when you get really good at listening and getting in your flow state for all of these, then you will also understand that it isn't limited. That was scarcity driven, that whole experience. But what I'm saying is understand there's more than enough for all. And that's why inventors and scientists, the USA and Russia used to always be rushing, because their scientists are reaching for the answer, and our science are reaching for the answer. At one point, they're going to hit the answer, and the answer is the same. So, because we're all one. Okay. So this is more, instead of that focus, fear-based, gotta go this way. When we're talking about clairaudient, I'm going to ask you this week, as we develop your skill, to go deeper inside and listen to yourself, because you're going to want to know the difference between soul speak and ego speak. Like when you're speaking through from your soul and listening for the soul or the solution, and that's where you want to live, in this place of peace and harmony. Or if you're going through one of your filters, ego speak. Okay, so it's how to discern that. We're going to go over that tomorrow, because each one of the days I'm going to go deeper into this, and we're going to go into clairaudient first. Okay, so let's talk about clairvoyance. Okay, this is mean clear vision. Beyond normal human vision, ability to see people, objects, events that are occurring now or in the future. These visions can be prophetic or symbolic. A very clear vision gives advice showing the current path. Visionaries become artists, builders, inventors, photographers, decorators, and designers. So, what is a clairvoyant seeing? Well, it depends what you're seeking, number one. And this is something, when we get to clairvoyance, Yolanda and I have something to say about when you are seeking a healer or seeking a teacher or a mentor or a reading, that you want to get to understand, what is the reader looking for? Okay. So we have that kind of clairvoyance when we say it's prophetic or helping you with a clear vision by seeing through. Like a clear vision sees the solution, never sees the problem. Like you could be talking the problem, but the clairvoyant is the ones you want are the ones that see the vision, because you're seeing see the solution, because you're seeing the problem. If you're seeking a reading, you're in the problem, and the brain that created the problem, the nervous system that created the problem, does not have the solution in it. The problem was created, right? Or you are experiencing this problem so that you could raise your consciousness and develop a neural pathway to always see solution, right? That's the practice of a visionary, a clairvoyant, because there's this pioneer spirit in a clairvoyant, because you're seeing something before other people see it. One of my favorite stories about a clairvoyant, and the thing you got to understand, in the quantum world, everything you desire is already here in your vortex. As Rumi says, you only need to develop the eyes to see. So if this is even a talent that you want to develop, then how you do it is through I want to tell you the story about this American Indian. So this is before the settlers, right before the settlers came to America, and I'm paraphrasing. but basically, he was the mystic or the medicine man of the community. And so what do mystics, what do? We look for the space in between. We look for what's coming up for the benefit of all. What talents are we developing as a community? We see patterns. And we always work on communicating better between the three intelligences. So basically, he was meditating every day, going to the beach and meditating, and he could feel, he has, we're going to talk about another one that hits you in the gut, or you feel the tingly, the back of your neck. When you have that skill, that person is having a reaction, and he kept feeling this at the water. And he kept praying, because see, when you have one of the skills, you can pray for the other one to be strengthened. And see, let me see what I'm feeling. And then the veils, see, neurologically, the veils get lowered, and he was able to see a ship. Now, you got to understand, he had lived on an island or in Americas. He had never seen a boat of that magnitude in his life. He hadn't seen clothes like that before. This was something his eyes had never seen. So his awareness had to lift the veil so he didn't scare himself too much. And then he delivered the message back to the tribe, and they trusted him because they knew on a very deep level that change is the only thing that is constant. And just as one person would specialize in doing one thing in the tribe, then there had to be someone who dedicated their life to seeing in between what has been created and understanding a pattern of change in order to guide, right? Instead of inciting fear, inciting understanding and connectedness. All right. So that is what a clairvoyant will be able to do when we're talking about seeing something that's coming up in the future. You're actually seeing what's already there, what's already coming down, and you can see it in pictures. You can see it in little movie vignettes. You can see it in symbols. If you read tarot, symbols, I love being clairvoyant, because I think the symbol is a great way to communicate between people, because a symbol, a 3D object, a picture has a lot more words and it has a lot more emotion in it. And so being clairvoyant is also really have an appreciation for symbology. Okay. And like I said, design. So that's what clairvoyance is. We got clairsentience. Okay, this is the one that you will get the gut reaction. And most clairsentient people are people averted a little bit, because walking into a room, you can feel everybody's stuff. I mean, you actually have a physical reaction before, and an emotional reaction before you have an intellectual understanding, because that sense, that gut response moves way quicker than thought. Okay, like bazillion times quicker than thought. So understand clairsentient is one that if you are clairsentient, then definitely pampering and understanding. When we get to clairsentience, I'm going to talk a lot about activating your shields. I'm going to talk about containers. I'm going to talk about the sacred way to be in love with this, at times, very painful physical, because people are suffering. I mean, if the other thing about it is if you're in a room with a bunch of people that feel good, that have self-confidence, that are supportive, that are great listeners, you'll also feel very euphoric. So there is the positive side to being clairsentient. However, if no one has pulled you to the side and said, ooh, boo, you're uberly sensitive And, you're a great healer. You'll be a doctor, a therapist, a counselor, a nanny, a teacher, very much a nurturer. Um, Someone that creates cozy, comfy, because you understand that that is a healing environment. So you're going to want to make sure that your sacred spaces are in line, that things are orderly, that you have a lot of comfort in your life, because you will thrive and flourish. So, and how to be with people without working through their low self-esteem issues and personal traumas. So it's very fulfilling to be a therapist, right? And a doctor. However, it can be very draining. So understanding how to balance this gift. So that's right there. Talking to a lot of clairsentient people. Claircognizant. Okay, this is the one, is my number 2. Number 1 is clairaudient. Number 2 is claircognizant. I think also the vision one. But this one right here, this claircognizant, has been with me my whole life. And I've benefited significantly from being claircognizant. This is I will receive like an instant knowing significantly before the general public gets it. That's why I had a software company before the internet, and I'm a speech therapist by trade. I had no business, like, logically owning a software company. And right now it's still alive. You can see it. I literally just gave it to a nonprofit in Texas. One of my first customers, software making a difference, and it's QMRP Taskmaster. But I received this download in like 1 or 2 days, and I received it in 1989. And my mom believed in it. She invested, and by 1990, I had my first little Macintoshes, and then it went from it was automating the paperwork for the mentally handicapped in community homes and state schools. And its popularity grew because of its effectiveness. And I took all of our paperwork. Now, I didn't do it. I'm saying because I actually did the work of designing the forms and typing the information. However, as far as its design, the whole design was downloaded. And I would get the first part of it, and then I would meet the next facility or the next person that would come into the company asking for something of the company. And then there would be this 2 or more experience. And I even began a Skillshare database, so that we as teachers, because in the regular school systems, there's textbooks and there's things like that. However, working with the mentally disabled and the autistic population and wheelchair bound populations, at that time there were no real textbooks written. However, they were all the structure for it and how to write it in a way to work with direct care staff that's delivering the service. Like I said, that whole thing just was downloaded. Now, I had to be somewhat in the field in order to understand what I was seeing when I was working. So basically, I saw this and I saw it, and it burned on my heart so bad that I kept telling everyone about it. And I would have people going, she's crazy. I don't know what she's talking about. I get that a lot. So that software company occurred. And then now the next one has been the Southern Muse, and all the products and all the product lines and all the ways that the Science and Solar Words and Home Magic and Shameless Beauty and the 8-day challenges can shift the way you see yourself and lift the veil so that we can all see heaven on earth. Like I've seen this way before the pandemic. Like in 2013, I began preparing to teach online, taking workshops and listening to other people who are also seeing it, validating this vision. So understanding being here right now is something that is a result of claircognizance. However, initially, I have to be the one that builds all the faith because this is often what I see, no one else can see. So unless I have a lot of faith or people have a lot of faith in me, which is something you have to understand, that there's only one person that requires to have faith. Like what got the software company from seeing it from all the way was that I knew how much it was going to change the way teachers got to interact with the people we were serving. Like I knew it. And so the whole development, when you are claircognizant and you receive the download, it will haunt you. It won't leave you until it manifests through you. So understanding how to be bolder. So that's why the people that are usually in that are philosophers, professors, leaders, scientists, religious, spiritual leaders, and powerful sales and business leaders tend to be claircognizant, and they just know the facts with a sense of certainty. So certain and focused on a divine vision, that's what claircognizant is. So who are my other claircognizants? Then we have clear tasting. I have very little of this, and I became a pastry chef in order to develop more of a connection, a healthy, balanced, scientific, loving connection with food in my body. It is something, I've struggled with a bit because I never really would taste my food. I would bypass that because I was in some type of automatic nervous system response. So having this skill, developing this skill is something that I'm doing, but it is one of my weakest actually of the clairs. Clear tasting, taste and smell are heightened and connected to the pleasure centers of the spiritual world. Remember, taste and scent and all of this great stuff is to stimulate memories. And from a memory, we can say, how do we want to make it better? And what people that have clairgustance, clear tasting, they can imagine and stimulate taste buds and olfactory senses for the benefit of all. One of the American Indian practices that we had when I was studying becoming a shaman was a gathering. And in this gathering, you weren't told how many people were going to show up. You weren't told any of that. But what the assignment was that you were to bring enough. You were to bring a dish, and you were going to bring a dish that was enough without leftovers for everyone that was going to come. So what you would do to prepare and what was being seen at the gathering is how much variety. Like, did each person tune in to say and ask on a psychic level, what are you bringing? And then listening for the answer. And then were they considering how many people there were? And so whenever they presented the dish before anyone ate, they could look and see who had tuned in and who had connected to the group consciousness. Isn't that great? Wouldn't you love to do something like that? And then preparing the dish, everyone who has this gift, you also understand how speaking and the words and all that. Now, I'm a teacher, so I can explain how to do it, and I've done this. I've taught how to cook with intention. So that is what you'll see bakers and chefs and food critics are very much these kind of beautiful people. Okay, now let's see. Now, clear alliance is clear smelling. So you can smell, this is really, you become a natural florist, a wine taster, perfume or fragrance creator, because you see scent and breath. What was really great in meditation, when you think of scent, when you think of what we've been going through with the breathing issues, with everything on the planet, right? With COVID. So I'm sitting here with sinuses and the whole bit. What you want to understand is when you take in a deep breath, you're breathing the exhale of your ancestors. You know, air is circulating and recirculating through this amazing web of life. And scent and breath are connected to taste and also to memory. And accurate memory retrieval is a practice. And when I say accurate on the level of what am I seeking? I'm seeking to see love in every experience that I have. And so when you might say, what's the use of clear smelling? Well, if you are speaking with people, loved ones that's passed on, it's a way that they can give you a little memory. You can smell their favorite perfume. You can, if they're not in this space, like your mom could still be alive, but you could smell, because that would be a way that it travels on this net to you, that she's sending you some little extra love. So they don't necessarily have to be passed on. You could also, if you're working on something and you get a whiff of a beautiful fragrant, nature could be asking you to go outside. You'd be very connected to nature. So understanding smell and breath are very connected. And like I said, you would be someone whose purpose you feel is fabulous when you hear the ah, and you thrive with, physical activity because you love the deep breath, right? And then there's clear touching. I have this one a bit, but this you make natural healers, artists, interior designers, because what you understand is that the relation between you and the material world is significant. And symbols, pictures. Yeah, this would be my third. This is definitely my third. And because every time I make something, I am infusing information into it. When I make any of my pendulums, I'm like, this pendulum will serve generations to come. It is imbued with the beauty and the light and the harmony of the divine. May everyone who touches this pendulum, like I infuse light and love and activation into everything that I create, every dish that I create, every meal that I create. I bring full consciousness to it because I understand that every solid object is but atoms moving at different frequency levels. And that there is a way with love and intention and heart energy that I can impress a message that will travel beyond my life here on this planet. So understanding the whole, these people are great manifestors. They can tell you how to get an idea right down to a material object. I can even measure for you how long it will take based on your filters to actually have in your hand the material thing that you see in your vortex. Okay. So understand that it's the certainty of, it's like alchemist is what, people that want to turn silver into gold. I haven't done such as that. However, transforming your emotional expectation about your life and the way of money and the way of your body, way of your ability to influence, to feel fulfilled, and to actually live your heaven on earth now and not wait, is the way to enlighten this planet. Okay, so are you ready? This is it, man. Now let's see. You know how I'm going to know if you're ready, if you're willing? Because I know you're ready. We know you're ready. The thing is, are you willing? How I'm going to know? Your body's got to get into action. I got to hear you do a live. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Yolanda, for the lives. Now, tomorrow night at 7, Yolanda and I are going to do a live on Facebook. Before then, like tomorrow morning, when I wake up, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to read aloud Our Deepest Fear by Marianne Williamson. It will be after I've danced 3 times to Van Morrison, Into the Mystic. And after I get off reading Our Deepest Fear, I am going to draw a picture or write a passage in my journal. So be ready to do that tomorrow morning. And tonight, or before tomorrow at 7, after watching this live, share with me. I'm listening. I'm here for you as a Science and Soul Words girl. What are your top 3 gifts? Mwah. Sweet dreams and much love. Bye, honey bunnies. Only I knew how to do that. Here we go. Bye.